Hi, I'm Luke and welcome to the Inside Ninja Virtual Demo Library. In this video we're going to talk about cool downs. You've done your workout, you've worked up a great sweat. Do you pick up your stuff and just go home now? No, you really need to do a cool down, and that's going to take a little bit of time, but it's really important for your body to prevent injury and help your body recover. So a cool down is holding stretches, static stretches, where you hold for about 15 to 20 seconds at least. If you want to improve your flexibility as well, you can hold for up to a minute or longer.
So here we go for a full body cool down. I'm starting at the forearms, the underside of my forearms. I've got my palms down on the floor and I'm bending my elbows back or straightening them to stretch the bottom of my forearms. And to do the top side of my forearms, I'm going to put my fists together, place them, the back of my hands on the floor, trying to keep a tight fist, and then moving my elbows, trying to straighten my elbows to do the top of my forearms. Now each stretch we're going to try and hold for 15, 20 seconds or more than a minute if you want to improve your flexibility. This stretch here is stretching the kind of top of your thumb near your wrist. So grab onto your thumb and then move them forward just slightly, because it is quite an intense stretch if you've never done it before. Now I'm going to speed up the video and I'll talk through each stretch as you still hold for 15, 20 seconds at least to really try and relax every bit of the muscle. Now you might want to slow down the video or stop it, pause it as you do your stretch, but try and hold each one for the 15 to 20 seconds or more. What I'm doing here is stretching a bicep muscle. I've turned my palm over, my elbow is straight, and my arm is slightly above 90 degrees to my body, going outwards. And I'm turning my body over it backwards to stretch the bicep muscle. Now I'm already bent my elbow, and this is now a pectoralis major stretch, or a pec stretch. You'll do this one if you've been doing a lot of bench presses or push-ups today. And your opposite muscle to the bicep is the tricep, and this is your classic kind of tricep stretch that you can do by bending your elbow across the back and pulling with your other arm, trying to pull it downwards. There are a few ways to do triceps, but this is the most kind of common one. Now I'm doing shoulders down, like a downward dog kind of. This is to push your chest down towards the ground. You might need to go up on your wrists. That was to stretch the shoulders in an extending way. And now this is doing the opposite, shoulders backwards. So hands behind your back, scooching your bum forward and kind of wriggling forward or wriggling your fingers back further to stretch the shoulders. If you've been doing back levers, then that's a good one for that. All right, going up towards the center of the body, lower, looking down and doing the neck stretches. This one is ear to shoulder. With the other hand, try and reach downwards so that you stretch out the neck, really stretch out that neck muscle. That's the other side. Now I've turned my head slightly down, kind of like smell your own armpit, and stretch downwards on the side of your neck. Moving down to the deltoid muscle or your shoulder, outside shoulder. This is a classic shoulder stretch there, but now I'm also trying to do one that's a little bit easier. Looks a bit complicated to start with, but I'm sitting down, put my elbow on that knee and leaning now forward, reaching over with the other hand. So now I'm just sort of leaning forward into it. I don't have to hold it with my other free hand. It's less strenuous and I can actually lean and relax into that stretch. Going down to lower back. Probably done this one in school. Lying on your back, knee over the top and just relaxing. Trying to find breath in all of your stretches and trying to find a relaxing point. This one's lower back or upper neck. In yoga it's called halasana, I think, and I really like that one stretch. Opposite core stretch is your seal stretch, so you're stretching your lower abdominals. If you push up through your shoulders and neck, then that is a good stretch for your abs. Slightly to the side, oblique muscles or your side abs. If you're doing side crunches, then these ones are good as well. Going back to the seal stretch, but slightly simpler version on your elbows. Okay, now we're going into lunges. So moving down into the hips. This one, really try and curl your coccyx bone or your tailbone underneath you, rotate it backwards so that you can stretch that front hip flexor straightening the front leg, bending the back leg. Now is going so fast. That was a front hamstring stretch, and now we're going into quad stretch in the back. It might help you to have a box nearby or a chair that you can hold on to for balance as you try and still push your hips forward while you're picking up the back leg, and that will really stretch out the quad muscle. That's the front of your thigh. Already moving into the gluteus maximus, moving into your bum stretch, and there's a few different ways for that, and you'll see on the next cycle. I'm already going to the next leg now, moving quickly right along. Again, if you want to pause this video as you go through each stretch and try and hold it for that 20-second minute, really stretch into it. It's supposed to be relaxing, so I'm sure you don't want to watch this video for 45 minutes, but that's how long a really nice stretching session can go for flexibility, improving your flexibility. But for the purpose of cool down, 15-20 seconds is really important to have on each stretch. Why is it important to have? It's for your body to recover faster, so you can get back into the gym and you don't have soreness, or you have less soreness depending on how hard you've gone on your session. So this is the glute stretch on the other side. You can hug your knee, you can lean forward over the knee. You might need to pause and see exactly how I've positioned my legs to get there. And now I'm moving into straddle stretch. Straddle is one that is really going to help your hip mobility. So legs as wide as you can, toes pointing up and leaning forward. With this one and with pike stretch, you can have straight back, and then you can curve your back around as well for a bit of a nerve stretch. Now I've gone to the side, I'm stretching my lats, my lower back, as well as my hamstrings, and increasing my hip mobility as well. This is good for kick training if you want to do martial arts, and also good for spider wall. You may have heard of a term called ballistic stretching. That's more for higher athletes, and for this video we're doing just a general kind of stretch, so we might come back to it in another video. This is going into the calves, keeping your heel on the floor, straighten your knee, and bottom up in the air. And that's kind of it for a general cool down from head to toe, but next the couple of stretch I'm going to do is going into split training. So if you want to get more flexible, then you can do this kind of froggy stretch for your middle splits, and then get into this pie position where you spread out further and further and further, keeping your feet at first on the ground and then slightly tilting them to heels and toes facing forward or upwards, and pushing down into the hips. Here I am kind of adjusting hips forwards and backwards, rolling forwards and back, and seeing how much further I can relax. The most important thing is to relax. Find where your muscles can relax and relax and relax and breathe. There is a method called PNF stretching, where you would actually resist for a small portion of time, 5 seconds, and then relax again for another 20 seconds. I'm showing you that there can be boxes on sides, as you can hold your support if you can't go quite down as low, and then you can be quite square with the hips and then move into a more open shape. You may have seen me move forwards and backwards. That's kind of adjusting the stretch from my hamstring a bit more, and then when I'm leaning back, I'm more focusing on the hip flexor. For training your splits, it's really good to hold again for that minute-long stretch. You may have noticed while I was doing the splits, I was doing a little bit of bouncing. That's the ballistic style stretching that we were talking about. And now I'm moving between middle splits and side splits, and that's to help me raise the kicks higher for martial arts. The last stretch I'm finishing off here is a butterfly sit.
And that comes to the end of our virtual demo. If you liked this video, remember to click subscribe and hit the like button.